can't beat them, say they're crazy or senile or losing a step. Right-wing media has this long-going fixation with Joe Biden and his mental health that frankly ignores the past 4 years. John Avalon with a reality check.
In response to revelations in the upcoming book Panic, that General Mark Milley was, quote, certain that Trump had gone into a serious mental decline in the aftermath of the election, ex-President Trump responded last night by calling his hand-picked chairman of the Joint Chiefs a complete nut job. Now, this neatly encapsulates Trump's reflexive project and deflect defense, also known by its schoolyard name, I'm rubber, you're glue. It's been a signature move since the two-time popular vote loser entered politics with a talent for deflecting his problems on opponents like Lyin' Ted and Crooked Hillary. But we're in uncharted territory when it comes to a president who, by the accounts of the people who work closely with him, had become all but manic and untethered to reality, as well as the Constitution, when he screamed about conspiracy theories and attempted to overturn an election. Now, there's something known as the Goldwater Rule that bars diagnosis of a candidate's or president's mental health by professionals or otherwise. Armchair diagnosis can be dangerous and misleading because it often reflects the partisan bias of the self-appointed analyst. But that doesn't mean we should ignore evidence provided by the people closest to the president, like his own former chief of staff, who called Trump unhinged, a moron, according to his former Secretary of State, whose chief strategist reportedly compared him to an 11-year-old child who lost a step, a madman, according to his former communications director, and an idiot surrounded by clowns, according to his chief economic advisor. These are just a very few examples. And I'm not even talking about Trump's awkward celebration of passing a cognitive assessment test designed to detect signs of dementia.
You'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
But given all of this, it's perhaps inevitable that Trump and his allies in right-wing talk TV would attempt to project and deflect questions about the ex-president's mental stability by running a relentless campaign to raise similar questions about the current president.
Yeah, he looks weak, frail, and seems to be struggling cognitively.
Joe Biden is not the Joe Biden of 8 years ago.
The man obviously had lost his train of thought and couldn't recover it.
What's on the note card, Joe?
There is a big question as to what is going on with Joe Biden's mental acuity.
He tends to latch on to one idea or phrase and then he repeats it.
And stammered around for a little while.
This is called perseveration. It's a medical term. It can be a sign of cognitive trouble.
These are signs of senility.
Now, curious about the pervasiveness of the attack, beyond that mashup, we ran some of the key terms through LexisNexis and found that Fox News has described Biden as senile 47 times over the past 2 years, invoked cognitive decline 48 times, raised the specter of dementia 22 times, and used the euphemism confused 157 times. So much for the Goldwater Rule. This isn't subtle. And these are just some of the phrases that can be picked to make the same point. And LexisNexis doesn't even keep transcripts for all Fox News shows. But the theme is clear and consistent with a Russian disinformation campaign deployed against Biden in 2020. Look, Biden and Trump are America's two oldest presidents. That's a fact. But there's a fundamental difference between opponents making accusations and a president's own aides and appointees repeatedly warning of a dangerously unstable and unfit man in the Oval Office, a president who represented a threat to national security. And what's so striking is that how Trump's hardcore supporters believe they know their man better than the people who actually know him. And they seem willing to follow him past facts to the point of idolatry. This has real implications for our democracy. As a new CNN poll shows, 54% of Republicans believe there is solid evidence that Biden did not legitimately win the election. There is, in fact, no evidence to that effect, as more than 60 court cases have established. But they have bought into the baseless big lie, hook, line, and sinker. Look, all the whataboutism in the world cannot detract from the fact that Donald Trump tried to overturn an election, tried to destroy our democracy, just to soothe his own fragile, wounded ego. And the reason isn't just awful history, is that he seems to be his party's frontrunner in the next election. And that's why this can't be ignored. And that's your reality check.
absolutely the front runner at this moment, and absolutely true, according to this book, Peril, that the CIA director, Gina Haspel, said he was like a 6-year-old with a tantrum.
Want to give power back to that particular baby with a hammer? Let's see.
John Avalon, thank you very much.